This video will look at how to manage payment methods in your system. So firstly, we're going to go to Merchant and then Setup, and then from the Payment Method drop down we'll click on Payment Method List. So out of the box we support a number of different payment methods, and you should see from this page within your own system a list of all the payment methods that have currently been set up. To edit one of these payment methods, we just click the green tick icon. From here we can change the name, we can add a description which is displayed in the checkout to the customer. We can change the type. Now the type is something that's set up on our end, and it defines a few other things such as the page that's displayed to the customer when the transaction's finalized, and a couple of other trigger points that we have to spawn off different actions once the payment has been completed. We can then choose to have authorization rules. So at the moment the only payment method that this really makes sense for is the corporate account payment method, and that's covered in another video entirely. We can then select a specific image to be displayed in the checkout, such as a Visa or MasterCard logo or a PayPal logo or something like that. We can turn a payment method on or off for all users by unticking this or ticking it. The sort order just defines the order of the different payment methods on the checkout. Then we can also set a price range that this is applicable. So if we'd set a price range of, say, a maximum of $100, if the customer had an order of $101, then BPay wouldn't be displayed as an option to the customer. We can delete a payment method by clicking the red cross icon, and then we can also manage permissions for an individual payment method. So by default, general users should have the payment method execute permission allocated, and now this is the permission that specifically gives them the access to see and use that payment method. So if you're setting up your own payment methods, you want to make sure that that is ticked for the relevant roles. By default it'll be ticked for the administrators, but it's up to you to decide which roles to give that permission to. So that's another way of removing access to the payment method rather than deactivating the thing entirely. Typically our cash payment transaction is only available to administrators. If we click in, we can see that it's not available for users, so we don't actually have to untick the isActive flag to hide it from customers, and in most instances it makes sense to just use these permissions instead. You can create your own payment methods by clicking create on the right hand side. So firstly we give the payment method a name, we can give it that optional description, and then we need to select a type. So these are predefined types which may or may not be relevant. Sometimes, for example, the account one, people like to set up multiple different types of account payment methods with different names. If there's something that doesn't fit these requirements, then we're happy to cater for something alternative if you wish to discuss it with us. We can again select whether it has authorization rules, which is covered in a separate video, and then the logo and some other basic details there. And that is how you create a new payment method.